When I'm stressed, what I first like to understand is so we needed to know what usually pushes you to do this because in each and everything we do, there is reasons of what that challenge is. So if I'm stressed, I need to get to understand that what is really causing the stress for me. Is it something I can avoid? Is it something, it could be peer pressure. There's this client I saw 2 years ago. She's addicted to Indian food, Igbo, wheat, and then how did she start taking it? The area where she's staying, all her peers are into that, and they said for her to be their friend, she has to do what they do. And that's how she went into smoking. And she got hooked in. And those friends left her in the drugs. So you need to understand what is even causing the stress. Sometimes there's this thing I see online, but then I don't know if I feel I should just go and talk to the person. The person might take it otherwise. You see someone saying you, allow me to, if you don't like me with my bad character, someone will carry me like that. And then surprisingly, that person might even be a Christian, a believer in Christ. So I know that I have bad character, and then I just assume that someone will take me like that. So I might be facing some stress due to my character. People might be leaving me. I can't keep friends. What is the issue? Why is it that I can't keep friends? Is it that I borrow things from my friends and I can't return? I know a guy, if he borrows money from you, just forget it. There's no how he will return that money to you. So what will make you want to become that person's friend if you know his character? So in managing stress, we first need to understand what is the cause of the stress. And then, as I earlier mentioned, exercise is a way of relieving stress. And then eating good food, balanced diet, also helps in reducing stress. Someone I saw recently on Facebook, there's this guy I follow on Facebook. He is a nutrition. So he talks about food, healthy eating. So he said the first point of health is not in the hospital, but it's in your kitchen. So what I eat will even determine if I will be tired before 12 noon or I'll be healthy. What I eat will determine if I even sleep well. That's why it is advised that we don't eat late at night. So our eating habit can even affect us being stressed. Yes, we might face stressful events, but our ability to cope has to do with either we exercise, we eat good food, and we meditate. And interestingly, Christ Jesus gave us a lot of examples. If you notice in the Bible, they tell us early in the morning, Jesus Christ goes to a quiet place and pray. So meditation, as simple as it may sound, is very, very powerful and effective. And I feel if you apply these few steps, try to understand what is causing the stress, then try to eat good food, try to sleep well, exercise and meditate. It will help a lot in managing stress.
Okay.
And then the second question.
Neurodivergent person in Nigeria.
So when we talk about that, usually in mental health counseling, you first have to go to a specialist who even diagnosed you or told you you have the symptoms of this or you're experiencing this. Because we all know that there's a difference between anxiety and anxiety disorder. Anxiety, everybody can be anxious at a point in time, but when it becomes a disorder is when it lingers beyond, maybe let's say up to 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month and 2. But then it is not proper that I diagnose myself based on someone's experience. Because sometimes when I see a friend and start telling the friend, this is how I'm feeling in my body, that friend will say, it happened to me too. When it happened to me, this was what I took and I became well. But it's very dangerous. It might not be the same thing that happened to that person. So I will advise that if you feel you're facing anything, to operate or act or do your normal daily activities properly, then I suggest you see a professional. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, so this one is for you, Godwin. So this person says, Where do you go for information that would help you understand the market generally? And then this other one's asking about the responsibility that fuels the drive and keeps you inspired. I think you can take those two. What responsibility fuels your drive and keeps you inspired in your field?
Okay, the first one is has to do for information for the market. You have to do your research when it comes to the market on the information. Sorry, when it comes to information on the market, you have to do your research. Most agropreneurs, as we like to call ourselves, they only want to get information in their room. You know, how to navigate the market. They just want the information in their room. They want to sit in their room and determine prices from what somebody said on Facebook or what somebody told them in the market yesterday when they went to buy, when they went for shopping. That is not how to get information. When you want to get information about the market, first of all, the location where that produce is, you have to have access to that place. Unfortunately, when it comes to agro investment or agro space, you cannot do well if you're not willing to travel. You cannot do well if you're not willing to leave your comfort space. So to get information, the right information, trade secrets, you have to do your research and you have to be able to move out of your comfort zone. So when I want to get my information, first of all, I have trusted circles based on years of doing business with them. I've been to several states in Nigeria. There's some markets I've been to that if I tell you, you won't believe that this place is in Nigeria, right? But being able to visit there just once or twice, if you're open-minded enough, you can get one contact, just one, that would continuously supply you with information. Oh, Chairman, this is the period to buy yam. Oh, the yam that is in storage now, the water content is reducing. So now you can buy it, and if you send it out, you're not going to have any issue with moving from one place to another, because when it comes to yam, especially this period where you have new yam is very watery, so it is easy to get bad if it's not stored well. You get information if I want to get information on, okay, when is the right time to buy oil, I know I have to move to BSA. I know I have to go to the oil mills. I have to meet the head of cooperative, discuss with him one-on-one, that Ogasio, at this point in time, this is what I'm going to need. And he will give me the information I need. So it is not enough to stay online and just browse and look for statistics that people are going to write. Yes, some people will tell you, the Gary business is $1 trillion business. Yes, but is that information enough? Right, so you need to do your research. You need to be able to move out of your comfort zone, basically. Then for the second one, how I stay inspired and fueled. Well, I think for me, it's all about growth. That's where the responsibility comes in. It's not enough to stay and cry that things are not working. Oh, I want a different path. Oh, I tried. People did not. No. At the end of the day, you have to grow. You try to do this, it failed. You tried a different way, it failed. So then you sit back and ask yourself, what have I learned? If you can pick out two information, or often one information, that's something that this is what I learned from my failure or from my past failure, it will inspire you to do better. Let me give you an example. So in the aspect of livestock, I do fish farming, right? But there has been one major issue every fish farmer will always cry about: the cost of feed. If you're buying feed, if before, as at the time when feed used to be around 18,000, if your profit margin was around, say, 30%, 40%, in today's market, your profit margin is around 10, 15%. That is after you've brought out your net profits from your gross profit, right? So I wanted to start up my own farm because then, in order to get a good location, I situated my fish farm in Bielsa. But I wanted to move it to Calabar because at the time my wife had given birth. So I wanted to settle majorly in Calabar for major products. But there was an issue. If I set up this fish farm now, I'm going to have an issue with feed, right? So I started doing my research. How can I navigate this issue? And it turns out that there is something called BSF, black soldier fly. and its lava is 40% protein, 40% crude protein. Now, with that lava, you can cut down your cost of feeding by 40%. So what did I do? Instead of setting up the fish farm, I set up a BSF farm. Today, we have others that we cannot even handle, not to talk of our own farm that we're still yet to set up. So these are the things that keep us inspired. Trying to solve problems, trying to be innovative. This thing is not currently working. How can we go around it? That's why God gave us a mind, you know. When something is not working, ask yourself, what is the best way to navigate it right now? And trust me, if you're able to ask yourself that question as you keep facing challenges, it will keep you inspired, because asking yourself that question, learning from what failed last time, is how you get results and you keep growing. So that's that.
All right, good stuff. Okay, Mom, so this question is for you. It says, how does one combine humility and confidence? Goes ahead to say, being humble can come across as being timid, while being confident can come across as being proud.
Thank you very much. Humility and confidence, they go together. If I know that some of you may think that I am proud right now, as I am. Confidence, you build it over the years. You build it over the years. How can I face the crowd? How can I don't have money, like the example he gave of your friend getting married and a shebi of 50,000, which you don't have. And because your friends will laugh at you if you do not wear the ashwebi. So some of you will go and borrow money to get the ashwebi or one thing or the other. But when you tell yourself, I don't have the money to buy this ashwebi, first of all, that's humility. You humble yourself to tell yourself that I cannot afford this ashwebi. I cannot afford this smartphone, this particular type of smartphone. Even if somebody is going to laugh at me, this is me. And then you look at yourself, and when you humble yourself, then you can be confident. Confidence does not mean being proud. In fact, being proud is emptiness. You don't have it, and you're proud. This is what I am. You managed to pass first semester. You're proud. When second semester comes, nobody hears you. You've lost everything. But when you have confidence in yourself, even in your zero level, you can still stand out. When you are humble, you just bring yourself down. You don't think of what somebody will say to you. You don't think of, as I'm passing this my dress, what will they say? Probably I have bought it in Bendal Market. You know, the Bendal Market is, you get better clothes than these China things that they are selling. You wash it very well. You go on your way. You couldn't be bothered what people say about you. When you start being bothered, that's when pride comes in. And you carry yourself in emptiness and think that you are pride. Confidence is how you can hold yourself, how you can tell yourself that, well, my friend has it, I don't have it, but I have to go to that function, that activity. I just wear what I have. That's, you have confidence in yourself. You have built yourself in humility. You being humble is not just falling and letting people walk on you. Stand for yourself and stand tall. Please, I know do I have no other question? I want to say something, please. He talked about anxiety. You know what is trending now is this anxiety. You become so anxious that you tell yourself that you have anxiety. Being anxious is not sickness. It's not a disease. It's not an illness. Yes, you have every right to be anxious. Am I going to pass the exam? What do I do to pass the exam? I have to eat. I have to sleep. If I'm going to stay up at night, that means I have to sleep early. I have to eat well. Eating well does not mean that you should go and kill somebody. If it is gari and soup you have, eat it. not Indomie. We have been told that Indomie is not good. Even if you eat Indomie, after 2 hours, you get hungry again. Eat this gari. If it is fufu, eat it. I eat fufu. I couldn't be bothered what anybody says. When you are anxious, you want results. You want perfection. You don't have to go and take drugs. I want to tell, sorry, my darling. I want to tell you that any amount of drug you take will not help you with anxiety, will not help you with panic. What's the other one? Panic what?
Panic attack.
They have big names. Anxiety disorder, panic disorder. And then you fail your exam. Oh, I was overwhelmed. What is overwhelming you? Why don't you read? Why don't you read? You are anxious over something. Take your time. It's not because your friend has gotten it, so you cannot have it now. And then you go and meet this young man. You not allow him sleep in his house and tell him you have anxiety disorder. It is about time we stand up. We stand up to yourself. Stand up and do what you have to do, and stop calling names that are from the pit of hell. What is that anxiety, whatever, disorder or panic disorder? You are causing it for yourself because you don't want to stand up to yourself. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's it. Where's our photographer? Can we take a quick picture as we wrap up? Come on, put your hands together for them. So you just step forward and do the quick picture. Pastor Krista, what next do we have tomorrow? And can you talk us through what activities are there?
Thank you, Duke. Good evening, everybody. So just so we're reminded, tomorrow is the Alpha Z Award Night. It's going to be a special black tie event, so we're all encouraged to please dress the part. Red carpet is by 5 p.m., and then the main event starts circa 5, and then on Saturday,